7 Seas issue statement regarding Mushoku Tensei, Cluster of the Elite Light Novel localization changes. Publisher will reissue Cluster of the Elite Volume 7 is re-evaluating editorial choices for Mushoku Tensei after complaints of omitted rewritten text. 7 Seas of the Table confirming that they will release a new version of the Cluster of the Elite Volume 7 Light Novel and it is re-evaluating its editorial choices of Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation after complaints. Surveys about omitted or rewritten text in the English releases. According to text comparisons posted in Reddit, the 7th season release of Cluster of the Elite Volume 7 omitted entire paragraphs of descriptive prose and dialogue for the original Japanese novel. Readers complained that the changes make it harder to understand what was happening in the story. 7 seasons will reissue the volume in both print and digital form. Summary cases of omissions were also noted for the first two volumes of Mushoku Tensei. Several controversial changes also involve written characterizations. In Chapter 3 of Volume 2, a scene which depicted the protagonist, Rodius, groping and attempting to pull off the panties of a sleeping girl was replaced with him trying to pull her shirt over her stomach to prevent her from catching a cold. The scene in its original form was depicted in Episode 6 of the television anime adaptation. Another notable change from Volume 1 involved removing references to rape, with Lilia describing her past sexual history with Paul the videos of Chapter 9. He mentally referred to Paul's actions as rape and adultery. It was changed in English to cheater and romanizer. In another section earlier in the same chapter, Lilia recalls the incident where Paul snuck under her bedroom at night for sex, describing the nature of act as force. The reference to sports was removed in the English version. A personally confirmed the changes highlighted regarding Mushoku Tensei Volumes 1 and 2. 17's full statement regarding the localization changes published below. The localization process, especially with novels, involves multiple stages of editing after we receive the raw translation. The process of creating smooth and readable English language process often revolves condensing or rearranging text, so line translation comparisons are not always one-to-one. 7C's goal is to provide accurate translations that reflect the author's intent, yet at the same time we provide ourselves and provide the polished English searches that are commercially available and enjoyable to read. Our accomplished editors, many of whom are particularly acclaimed writers as well as die-hard manga and light novel fans, are tasked with carefully reading the needle and balancing word-for-word accuracy with fluidity. In most cases, we are quite pleased with the results and are confident our translations stack up with our competitors' translations and other professional prose novels in English. That said, the localization process is always a judgment call. In the case of Cluster of the Elite Volume 7, fans already drew our attention to a heavy-handed editorial approach in certain portions of the text. We appreciate this criticism and have taken it to heart. As a result, we have now reedited the book and will release a new version shortly, both digital and print, that strikes a more carefully considered balance. As for Mushoku Tensei, we are currently evaluating our editorial choices and will be making necessary adjustments in some volumes soon. We thank fans for their invaluable feedback. Localization is not a science, it is an art form. We will continue to refine our in-house editorial standards and ensure that our localizations remain faithful, yet artful.